The season has only just begun, yet some top-tier clubs are already facing challenges. In this video, we'll examine 5 teams that are likely to flop this year. Lyon. The first team we discuss is Lyon, who once was a top-tier team in France, but is now poised for another disastrous season. Despite a history of 7 consecutive title wins from 2002 to 2008, Lyon finds itself in a severe crisis both on and off the field, following a crushing 4-1 defeat to Paris Saint-Germain. After failing to secure European qualification spots in the past 2 seasons, the start of this season marks their worst in 31 years. They lost their final 2 matches and played to a lackluster goalless draw in Nice. The issues on the field reflect the chaos surrounding the club. American businessman John Textor acquired Lyon midway through the previous season, taking over from the long-serving president Jean-Michel Aulas. However, Lyon's spending was restricted by the French football financial watchdog, the DNCG, during the summer transfer window, hindering their ability to sign much-needed players. The situation escalated when Aulas filed a complaint against Textor for slander. In a video conference with various French media, Textor accused Aulas of concealing the club's actual financial status at the time of the takeover. With Lyon still winless, coach Laurent Blanc is now facing immense pressure, and Textor has emphasised the need for improvement. However, Blanc has limited resources to turn things around, as several key players are injured and there have been only a few additions from the transfer market. The outlook for Lyon is far from promising. Sevilla. The next unfortunate addition to this list is Sevilla. After a disappointing season in La Liga, during which the club even faced the threat of relegation at times, their fortunes took a dramatic turn for the better as they secured their 7th Europa League title by defeating Jose Mourinho's Roma on penalties in May. This victory should have set Sevilla and their fans up with high hopes for Champions League football in the upcoming season, along with ambitions for squad progression and development. However, 3 games into the new season, Sevilla stand as the only team that has yet to score a single point in Spain. They suffered 2 defeats against Valencia and Alaves, followed by another loss this Saturday in the 3rd round of La Liga. The woes on the pitch also reflect serious financial troubles plaguing the club. This summer, club president Pepe Castro informed Sevilla's boss, Jose Luis Mendilibar, the club had accrued debts amounting to €90 million. Consequently, every member of the Europa League winning squad was declared transferable during the summer transfer window. Although they didn't sell many players, they had to part ways with goalkeeper Bono for €20 million to a club in Saudi Arabia. They did manage to acquire Ramos as a free agent, who returned to his former club. Nonetheless, the club's poor start to the season has raised doubts about their competitiveness in the coming months. Dortmund. Now let's turn our attention to another club facing a significant crisis, Borussia Dortmund. The scars from last season, where they lost the title on the final day, were expected to linger, but the current mood is even more pessimistic than anticipated. After 3 Bundesliga games, they've managed to accumulate 5 points. While this might not seem like a poor performance, it's not unusual for Dortmund to start slowly, as they did under Edin Terzic last season. However, there's a noticeable discontent in the air, and it's not without reason. Those 5 points have been earned through rather poor performances. Their opening day victory over Cologne felt laboured. They were fortunate to secure a draw against Bochum, and they were extremely lucky to salvage a point from a dismal collapse against Heidenheim on Friday night. Certain sections of the German media are already questioning Terzic's tactical acumen in getting the best out of this group. Some are even wondering whether it might be worth considering Julian Nagelsmann for the job. One of Dortmund's problems is the absence of a standout star player like Bellingham, Haaland or Sancho. While the quality of their football has often been unconvincing, their exceptional talent has always compensated, preserving Dortmund's identity and their standing in the football hierarchy. However, this season, the proposition is weaker. Dortmund still possesses some very skilled players, but their summer recruitment strategy leaned towards adding experience. Players like Marcel Sabitzer, Füllkrug and Rami Benzebaini are valuable assets, and Felix Mecha was signed for the future, potentially becoming a star someday. Nevertheless, none of these signings ignite the kind of excitement that Dortmund has historically thrived on. None of them seem likely to bring Dortmund any closer to challenging Bayern Munich or warding off the increasing competition from Bayer Leverkusen and RB Leipzig. Roma. Now let's shift our focus to Italy, specifically Rome. Despite it being early in the new season with 35 games left to play, Lukaku's new team finds itself in the relegation zone with just 1 point from 3 games. Roma's initial matches of the season weren't particularly challenging. While the game against Milan was always expected to be tough, especially at home, Mourinho undoubtedly aimed to secure at least 1 point from it. However, the matches against Salernitana and Verona should have resulted in wins for Roma, giving them 6 points before facing Milan. Unfortunately, none of this unfolded as planned. A 2-2 draw against Salernitana at home was hardly the kind of result to inspire confidence, and a 2-1 defeat to Verona saw mistakes from Rui Patricio and Chris Smalling ruthlessly punished by the home side. Many things can change over the next 9 months, but it's currently challenging to envision Mourinho achieving his goal of finishing in the top 4. This has been the objective of the Friedkin Group since they took control of the club in 2020. The closest Roma came to returning to the Champions League was reaching the Europa League final last season, where they narrowly lost to Sevilla. Roma's FFP constraints have consistently limited Mourinho in the transfer market, impacting their Serie A standings in the last 2 seasons. They simply haven't been strong enough to break into the top 4. Even with the arrivals of Lukaku, Renato Sanchez, Leandro Paredes, Houssem Aouar and Evan Ndicka, it remains challenging to see Roma genuinely breaking into the top 4 by the end of the season. As always, a lot depends on keeping Paulo Dybala fit. The Argentine is the creative engine of Roma, and they appear significantly weaker without him on the pitch. However, his injury-prone nature makes it uncertain how many games he and Lukaku will play together, despite the potential of their partnership on paper to drive Roma into the top 4. Ajax. Lastly, let's discuss Ajax. At the moment, the club has accumulated 5 points from 3 games. For a team that used to effortlessly dominate this league, this falls significantly short. It mirrors the way the club has been managed in recent years. Ajax's approach has always included selling players as a fundamental part of their model. However, the summer of 2022 took this practice to an extreme that proved unsustainable. Ajax lost 8 crucial players, including their top scorer Sebastian Haller, first-choice goalkeeper Andre Onana, starting centre-back Lisandro Martinez, emerging midfielder Ryan Gravenberch, and Antony. Additionally, the departure of Erik ten Hag, the manager who led Ajax to their first Champions League semi-final since 1997 in his first full season, cannot be downplayed. Ten Hag's former assistant, Schreuder, remained in charge until January. 3 months earlier, Schreuder witnessed Napoli dismantle his team 6-1 in the club's heaviest ever European defeat. After a promising start from the newly appointed Johnny Heitinga, his lack of experience became evident as Feyenoord secured the Eredivisie title and PSV Eindhoven defeated Ajax in the Dutch Cup final. Unfortunately, it appears that Ajax is headed for another disappointing campaign. What are your thoughts on our analysis? Share your opinions in the comments section below. If you found this video interesting, please remember to click the like button and subscribe for more content. Thank you.